Have you ever walked into a room only to realize you weren't really wanted there? Maybe someone barely looked up from their phone. Maybe the smiles felt forced. Or worse, no one said a word about how nice it was to see you. You were just there, an afterthought. If you're over 60, this kind of experience may have become more familiar than you'd like to admit. You made time. You got dressed. You left your quiet space to show up for someone you care about. And yet you left feeling unappreciated, even invisible. And so here's a truth we rarely talk about, but need to. Just because you have the time doesn't mean you owe it to everyone. You see, after 60, your time becomes sacred. Not because it's running out, but because you finally understand its value. In this video, we're going to talk about something that may feel controversial, but is deeply empowering. Why it's okay to stop visiting people, even if you have the time. This isn't about cutting people off or becoming isolated. It's about protecting your heart, your peace, and your dignity. Let's begin. 1. You've spent a lifetime giving. It's okay to step back now. For most of your life, you've been a giver. You showed up at every family gathering. You brought food when someone was sick. You visited relatives in the hospital. You showed up for others even when they didn't show up for you. You didn't do it for recognition. You did it because that's who you are. Loving, loyal, dependable. But now in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, something feels different. You've noticed that when you don't show up, few people call to check why. When you do show up, it's almost expected, not celebrated. You've started to ask yourself, why am I still pouring so much into people who pour so little back into me? And that's a powerful question. It's not about becoming bitter. It's about realizing you don't have to be everything to everyone anymore. You've earned the right to step back, not out of spite, but out of wisdom. 2. Time feels different. After 60, you start to feel its weight. When you were younger, time felt endless. You could spend an entire day visiting people, running errands, or chatting for hours. You always thought there would be another tomorrow, another reunion, another Sunday. But after 60, something changes. You begin to feel the weight of time in your bones, not just physically, but emotionally. A 2-hour visit can leave you drained for the rest of the day. A short drive feels like a journey, and getting dressed up, packing up, and showing up starts to feel heavier than it once did. That's not laziness. That's awareness. You now understand that every moment matters. You don't want to waste it in rooms where you're not valued or in conversations that leave you empty. You'd rather spend an hour quietly reading a book, tending to your garden, sipping tea by the window, or just sitting in peace than forcing a visit that costs you more than it gives. And that's not selfish. That's sacred. 3. You are not a guest. You are a gift. Let's make one thing clear. Your presence is not an obligation. It's a blessing. You bring with you decades of life experience, stories that could fill books, wisdom born of struggle, laughter that's healed wounds, grace that comes from surviving things others can't imagine. But somewhere along the way, people stop seeing that. Maybe it was your kids, too busy with their own lives, or friends who only call when they need something, or family members who see your visits as a formality, not a joy. And maybe worst of all, you began to believe it too. You began to wonder if you were the problem, if you were too much, or too quiet, or not interesting enough. But I'm here to remind you, you are a gift. If they don't light up when you walk in, if they don't make space for you in the conversation, if they don't notice when you leave, then it's not you, it's them. And you do not have to keep giving your presence to those who treat it like background noise. 4. Reciprocation is not too much to ask. Think back on your relationships. How many of them are truly mutual? How many people call you first, not because they want something, but just to hear your voice? How many visit you without needing a reason? How many return your texts, check on your health, or remember your birthday? If you find yourself always initiating, always planning, always going out of your way, you are in a one-sided relationship. And at this stage of life, those are no longer acceptable. You are not a messenger service, not a holiday visitor, not a backup plan. You are a human being with feelings, energy, and needs of your own. And those who truly care will show up, maybe not perfectly, but consistently. You don't need a dozen friends. You need 2 or 3 who make you feel seen. Let go of the ones who only call when they need something. 5. Protecting your energy is not selfish. It's survival. As we age, energy becomes a currency. Where once you had the stamina to juggle work, kids, friends, and events, you now have to choose wisely. And each visit costs something. Not just in gas money or time, but in energy, preparation, emotion. When you go visit someone, you're not just bringing your body, you're bringing your attention, your emotional availability, your willingness to engage. And if you walk away from that visit feeling drained, overlooked, dismissed, that's a sign. It's a sign that your energy is being spent in the wrong place. Start treating your energy the way you'd treat your last few dollars, with intention. Give it only where it is honored. 6. Guilt is a trap, and you don't have to fall in. So many elders continue to show up, not because they want to, but because they feel they have to. They feel guilty for not going to a birthday party. They feel bad for skipping a visit with a distant cousin. They worry people will talk if they don't show up at church this week. But here's a truth that may set you free. Guilt is not love, it's control. And if you're doing something just to avoid being talked about, or to keep people from getting mad, then you're not living. You're just performing. You don't owe anyone that. The only person you should be trying to please is the one looking back at you in the mirror. Release the guilt. Reclaim your time. 7. The most powerful people know when not to go. Think about the people you admire, the ones who speak softly but carry deep wisdom, the ones who don't chase attention but seem to command respect when they enter a room. They don't go everywhere. They don't attend every event. They don't answer every call. Why? Because they know the power of presence, and they know that power fades when it's given too freely. You've spent your whole life being available. Now is the time to be intentional. Let your presence be rare and meaningful, not constant and taken for granted. 8. Loneliness isn't cured by visits that feel empty. There's a myth that says, to avoid loneliness, stay connected. But not all connections are created equal. Some leave you lonelier than you were before. You show up to visit your children, and they barely make eye contact. You join a group activity and spend the whole time being talked over. You go to a family dinner and feel invisible in a room full of people. These aren't connections. These are reminders of what's missing. So you sit in your car after staring at the steering wheel, asking yourself, why did I even come? And you realize sometimes solitude is kinder than shallow company. Sometimes a quiet evening alone is better than a loud room that makes you feel unseen. 9. When you choose yourself, something amazing happens. Here's what happens when you start choosing yourself. You begin to wake up with more peace. You stop planning your day around other people's needs. You spend time doing what you enjoy: reading, gardening, walking, painting, praying. You reclaim your space, your pace, your rhythm. And you start to realize that joy doesn't come from being around others. It comes from being at peace with yourself. You're no longer worried about who didn't invite you. You stop wondering why no one called. Because now, you are enough. You are the home you've been seeking. 10th, let those who love you come to you. This is not a message of isolation. It's a call to recalibrate your relationships. You don't have to chase anyone. Let those who love you come to you. Let them reach out. Let them drive. Let them ask, and can I stop by? Let your home become a sanctuary, not a stopover. The people who see your worth will make time. And the rest, let them go with love, because not everyone deserves access to your beautiful spirit. Closing thoughts. You are still the main character, After 60, society may treat you like a background character. They stop calling, stop listening, stop asking. But don't you ever forget, you are still the main character in your story. You are allowed to rewrite the script. You are allowed to walk off the stage that no longer honors you. This is your time, and your time is sacred. Protect it, honor it. Choose wisely who gets to share it. If this message spoke to your soul, you are not alone. This channel was created for people just like you, people who are wiser, older, and finally realizing that their time is theirs again. We don't preach, we don't push. We just share truths that too often go unsaid. If you felt seen today, please subscribe. Join a growing family of strong, reflective seniors who are learning to walk in peace and self-worth. And comment below, have you ever stopped visiting someone because it no longer felt right? Your story may help someone else find their voice.